our general collective frequency, and everyone that needs to perceive it will perceive it synchronistically.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do that when I practice.
All right.
It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it is.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very
Bashar.
much.
Bashar, hello.
Good day to you.
Very excited to be here.
Oh, all right. We are excited that you are excited to be there.
That's terrific. My first question is, do civilizations on other star systems still have a zodiac system?
Well, obviously, they sometimes will recognize that they can impose patterns on the stars, but not many of them express the idea of the zodiac in the way that your planet does.
Okay.
At least none that we've encountered so far.
So that's like a unique thing to Earth here?
Relatively, in the way that you express it, yes.
Okay.
Others can recognize the idea of the reflective nature of those patterns being a reflection of different levels of their collective or individual consciousness. But the way that many people on your planet interpret this, as you call in a zodiac format, is relatively unique.
Okay. My next question is, I understand how everything's happening all at once. Like, I feel that to be true.
All right.
But I don't really understand how that's possible or how that actually works.
Well, it's possible because there's actually only one moment in existence. Now. Therefore, there's only one place everything needs to exist in. Now and here. That's it. So it has to have the ultimate time-sharing program of the only place there is and the only time there is, here and now. Therefore, the different vibrations cause it to seem as if it's sharing that same now and here on different frequencies that then create the ability to perceive them without overlapping. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Well, you know, again, by analogy, that if you are watching one television program on your TV, you know there are probably hundreds of other programs playing simultaneously,
right.
Don't you? Well, don't they all exist at the same time for you? It's just that they're on different frequencies. So you only see the one that you're tuned to at any given moment. But if you change the channel, then you see another one of the parallel reality TV shows that was going on at the same time as the show you were just watching, and no longer perceive the one that you were looking at because now you've shifted your frequency. That's how it works. Simple as that.
But how is it possible that like 5,000 years ago is happening right now also?
Because it's just a different TV show. It's just a different program. You're just calling it 5,000 years ago because that's your linear perspective. That's your relationship to the show. But it's going on right now. It's just going on in a format you think is called 5,000 years ago. That's the play that's playing. Just again, as if you watch a television program that is about life 5,000 years ago. But it's still playing right now. Same analogy.
Okay, I see.
Does that help?
It does help.
All right.
And I have one more question, if that's all right.
Yes?
I'm very into the...
Oh, one moment. Let me check with the great overlords of the universe if it's all right for you to have another question. Oh, all right. They grudgingly say yes.
Have I been granted one more question now?
That was a question. So now you're using them up, asking if you can ask questions. Just ask the question.
Okay.
I will tell you whether it's appropriate or not for us to answer.
Okay. Well, I'm very into the law of attraction. And
yes.
I see it working in my life all day long.
Yes.
Usually in little ways, but sometimes in really spectacular ways too.
Yes.
And
yes.
It seems to me like there's still some times where my higher self or something steps in and kind of keeps me from something and
keeps you from
or
something.
like kind of like ask me like, is this what you really want? Like, give me
it's not
like
about
of something.
Well, there's the idea. It's not about what you want. It's about what you need.
Okay.
There's a big difference sometimes between those. Sometimes they can overlap, but quite often what you want and what you need are very different things.
So even sometimes when I'm really focusing on one particular thing,
yes.
and I don't get that, it's because it's not what I need, right?
It's not what you need at that moment. Maybe all you needed to do was learn how to focus.
Damn.
The idea is Do you trust the way your life unfolds?
Absolutely.
Yes or no? Then nothing is keeping you from anything. Everything that happens is exactly what you need at that moment. Use it in the best and most positive possible way, and you may begin to understand why that thing happened instead of something else. Remember, these things are nonlinear too. So a thing may happen in your life, and you may scratch your head and go, I do not understand why this is happening in my life right now. 10 years later, you may understand perfectly why it happened when it did.
Mm-hmm.
But 10 years later, from the higher mind, is right now. So the idea is that it just played out in your life in the way that it did linearly, because you're focused in a linear space-time perspective. But it had to express itself when it did in order for it to make sense to you when you caught up to the reason that it happened. So you would have the information you would need at that time by having had the experience 10 years ago.
I understand.
Make sense? You need to have a broader perspective of how all these things are interlinked rather than such a tunnel vision of linear reality. It's a much bigger network of things going on simultaneously that place themselves linearly where they need to, because that's how you need to experience it in order for it to ultimately make sense in the big picture of your entire life, not just what's happening with you at this particular moment.
That's what I'm starting to see, too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have so many questions.
So many questions.
Yes.
Are you sure that a lot of them aren't the same question in different clothing?
No, I'm not sure.
All right. Begin however you wish.
Okay. Are there any extraterrestrials that don't have any questions, or any beings, like, do plants have questions?
Yes, but not in the way that you understand that concept. It's a very different expression of consciousness, and it isn't really something that you can relate to in the way that you express it as a human. But everything is conscious. Everything is self-aware in one way, shape, or form, even though it may be a very alien form of self-awareness to you. But everything, in a sense, knows, if you want to call this a question, that it is being encouraged to be more of what it is. So it is always, in a sense, seeking. There is always mystery. There's always the opportunity to expand, to grow, to change, to express more of whatever it is. So if you want to say that that might be a series of questions, well, that's an analogy that can work, but it won't be exactly how those different life forms are experiencing it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So consciousness is similar to a state of questioning, or?
Well, in a sense, consciousness is self-awareness. It is the first reflection of all that is of itself, so it knows it is itself. So self-awareness is consciousness, and therefore it constantly expands as the reflections in a hall of mirrors continue to expand to infinity. So everything is in that state of self-reflectivity and self-expansion. Yes.
Okay.
Now, the structure never changes. The structure never grows. The hall of mirrors is the hall of mirrors. But the perspectives, the angles, the experiences constantly change, and that's how creation expands. But the structure of it never does.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of, yes.
Kind of. All right. Good enough.
I'll have to listen to it again later.
If you
but-
say so.
I have a question about the physical body
Yes.
and how negative beliefs affect it.
Well, I think you all have some experience with that, don't you? The first level would be called stress. The next level would be called disease. The next level would be called death.
Where did the first negative belief come from?
In the moment of the creation of existence itself, if you want to put it poetically or linearly, remember that once all that is was self-aware and became aware it is everything, then it is both positive and negative. Everything has positive and negative except the one, which is homogeneous and unaware of itself. But as soon as it became aware of itself, there is the Trinity. Positive, negative, the balance point in the center. So the idea of negative beliefs are inherent in the structure of existence itself. Make sense?
Yes. How do we love ourselves if we are one? We are just, we don't have something to...
How do you love yourself?
Yeah, I mean, what is it that's loving ourselves?
You.
You?
And all that is. Remember, it's this and that, not this or that.
Okay.
You have to understand that both sides, cause and effect, are actually one experience. One doesn't actually come before the other. Both are there simultaneously. So one reinforces the other. And from your linear perspective, sometimes it can seem as if one began before the other, but that's not actually mechanically the case. So all that is loving you unconditionally and allowing you as an aspect of all that is to also love yourself unconditionally. Yes?
Yes.
So it's all that is loving itself in all the ways it can.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Anything
Yes.
else?
So our body is a dense energy field?
Yes, it's kind of a crystallized spiritual energy field. Remember that you're actually in spirit right now. You never leave. That's kind of your natural state. You're just dreaming that you've left. Physical reality is just a projection of consciousness. You're playing a game, pretending that you've left the spirit realm, but you haven't. You never do.
So
Make sense?
after the body goes away,
You're just
dissolves.
expanding your focus. Because it's not really accurate to say that your spirit is in your body. It's more accurate to say your body is in your spirit. So you expand your consciousness focus beyond the physical realm, and in a sense you could say the body is reabsorbed, so to speak, back into spiritual energy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But it usually happens over time because body, the concept of your body, is a product of the linear space-time reality. Therefore, it follows those conditions. It follows those rules. Now, it doesn't have to. On our planet, at our point in our evolution, when we do die, our body just goes, it's just gone. Because we accelerate so rapidly into spirit. We leave nothing behind.
So there's less of a change in your consciousness?
There is less of a change in our consciousness, although it does expand. But we are already in our point of evolution quasi-physical, exhibiting both the qualities of physical and non-physical reality.
And you do have some time?
Yes,
in your
yes,
realm.
we understand the basic concept, but for us, it's much more flexible and malleable as it's becoming more so for all of you.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes. I have one more question.
Yes.
I had a dream many years ago about, I don't know if it was another planet, but I went to this place which appeared to be another planet, and all of the, there were rows of food growing, like vegetables, and
Yes.
Everything was much more vibrant. And
Yes.
when I touched the vegetables,
Yes.
it was like they communicated with me, and they were,
Yes.
I had much more expanded consciousness.
What you
of them.
experienced was future Earth.
Oh. Okay. It was wonderful.
Well, yes, it is.
Yes.
Please again remember, everything exists simultaneously. Every possible version of Earth you can imagine exists alongside the version you're experiencing right now. You never change the Earth you're on. You change yourself, and you shift to another already existing version of Earth that is already more reflective of the change you made within yourself. But the Earth that you were on a moment ago still exists. You just keep shifting through different versions of it. Each version never changes. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's how you change. Because you are passing those parallel reality concepts through your consciousness. But from a linear space-time perspective, you experience it as if the change is going on outside you, in the world around you. It never is. You're changing and shifting yourself to different versions of Earth that are simply more representative of the change you made within you. You're doing that billions of times per second, literally. Billions of times per second. That's what time is. Time is a side effect of your consciousness shifting through billions of versions of parallel realities every second. Otherwise, if there was no shifting, there would be no movement. Everything would be a frozen snapshot. Make sense?
Yes. Yes. It
All
does.
right, well then go have fun with that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't really have any specific questions, so I just talk about something.
That's all right. You can make a statement if you wish.
That's fine. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was excitement.
Yes.
The world is just fascinating to me. There's so many, the physical world, there's like so many different, areas and things and everything. Lately, I've become very fascinated with aviation and, flight and all of that. Can I talk a bit more about how that works? Where does that excitement come in, and how does that translate into, physical world? Because
Well, it can translate many ways. I mean, when we talk about the idea of acting on your highest excitement, as we often say, we don't necessarily mean that you have to be jumping up and down and running around like crazy with your hair on fire. We simply mean that excitement can also be translated as a sense of balanced peace. It just depends on what you're passionate about and what is appropriate and in alignment with you at that moment as an expression of your true self. That's what that means. So it can express itself in any number of ways. You can be excited about being tired and going to sleep. You can be excited about many different things. You can be passionate and express your passion in any number of ways. It's up to you as a unique individual to decide which expression is true for you at any given moment. And it can change from moment to moment. One moment you may be passionate about expressing yourself this way. The next you may be passionate about expressing yourself a different way. You have to follow the thread. But excitement is the thread. It is your path. It's the physical translation of the vibrational energy that is truly your signature frequency. That's what excitement and passion and love and creativity is. Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not entirely sure why, sometimes some things excite me more than others and so on.
Because
reason?
right now, that's the thing that you need to really do. Again, it's the organizing principle. It shows you through what excites you more than something else that this is the thing you need to act on next. It's actually guiding you. It's actually laying things out for you in the order in which they actually need to be done that would serve you best. So if at the end of a day, when you're excited about being tired, you've accomplished only a certain amount of things by acting on your excitement, those are the things you needed to do that day and nothing else needed to be done.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I often feel very different from the rest of the people that I, meet. Like, for
Yes.
example, dreams I don't have as much, or, in terms of fear and all of
That's
that.
all right. Then that's your way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about what that is exactly.
Everyone approaches this differently. Everyone has a different way of expressing and experiencing these things. Just be true to yourself.
Okay.
Yes?
When there's, certain meditative experiences or certain energy moving, sometimes I feel cold. Sometimes, the temperature feels a bit lower than what it was. Is there
Yes.
some...
Well, you may be dealing with different kinds of energy and acclimating to them. You may be processing them. You may be letting go of resistance to them. There may be many different reasons why those kinds of changes are experienced in the body when you're dealing with integrating new energies.
Okay.
Remember that in your science, the idea of becoming superconductive requires that your temperature be lower. Yes?
Yep.
To make sure there is less resistance to the energy flowing through. So
Right.
that might be one reason. You may be equating the idea of cooling yourself down to becoming more superconductive.
Okay.
Yes?
Yep.
Does that
makes
help?
sense. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Andrew, you good day.
I have one question. So, could you
Speak
tell-
up, speak up.
Could you tell me non-duality things? Non-duality. Non-duality? Yeah. Yes.
Non-duality.
Yes.
There is only non-duality in the one. That's the only place there is non-duality. But like I said, it's not really duality, it's a trinity. There is always the balance point in the center. So when there is duality, it's actually a trinity. And the duality begins with all that is, which is the first reflection of the one of itself that knows itself as the one. We simply refer to that as all that is. So the first reflection, the first self-awareness of the one creates the idea of the trinity that expresses itself as duality and the center balance point. But the one is unaware of itself. It's unbroken. It has no awareness, no reflection. There is no sense of an other. Therefore, there is no reflection that it is different than an other. So there is no duality there. There is only one.
Okay.
But that's the only level that has that. But it doesn't experience it because there's no experience in something that has no idea of itself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, then please all enjoy your refreshment break. We will resume this transmission afterward. Say, let us continue with the transmission by continuing with your questions if you wish. All right, all right.
So I wanted to talk a bit about trauma.
Trauma.
Yes.
All right.
In the past, I had done way too many hallucinogenics, and it led me to perceive a very high level version of reality.
Yes.
But I was projecting fears against it.
Yes.
And for a very long time, I could only access those higher energies through a fear state.
All right.
So,
although that's quite a contradiction.
Well, it's more like I would reach up.
You would use the fear to rebound yourself up to a non-fear state?
Sort of. It's more like when I would get the inspiration towards going to the higher energies, the fears would come up and I would see kind of terrifying things. And in fact, actually used to scare me a lot.
Yes.
Like, you were terrifying for a while. But at the same time, you were giving me everything that I wanted to hear. You know?
All right.
So it was,
which sometimes for many of you can be terrifying.
Right. Which it very much was. So, you know, and I've worked through a lot of my fears and I've gotten to a good place.
Oh, all right.
And sometimes I see other people who have moments or they've had past experiences that have really imprinted their circuitry in their mind in a sense. And it filters a lot of their experiences. And just for, you know, the little kinks that I may have and for other people who may be struggling with a traumatic experience, I'm wondering what, besides just following your excitement, maybe if there's any types of advice that you can give for people handling that.
Well, you can certainly assist people if you've been through something with whatever information you've learned from your experiences, not that they have to take it, but you can certainly be an example of how you may have used the idea of those experiences that originally may have seemed negative to transport you into a positive state. Yes?
Yeah,
so your experience can be valuable for others.
Right.
If you're willing to share it.
Yes. And I am. So,
All right.
you know, once the platform shows itself, I think I will be doing
yes,
that
yes,
more.
yes. All right.
Um,
Would that be exciting for you?
It would very much be exciting, actually.
All
So
right.
I believe I'll follow through with that eventually.
Oh, all right. Good choice.
Thanks. Another question I have is, so with the same line with the abuse of hallucinogenics, I felt at the time, I was like, oh no, I'm trapped. I was scared. I was like, I'm trapped. There's a
Yes.
trap coming. I have to look out for something, right?
Yes.
And it happened at a music festival. And then coincidentally, I'm in this reality now where there's a very popular style of music called trap.
All right.
And I was kind of like, really? Like, is, you know, like it,
Synchronicity abounds.
right. But in a sense, it's like, it made me feel like I actually was trapped in that here I am in this reality where this type of music is so abound and strong, and it's called
But in
trap.
that moment you felt it, did you know that it wasn't the truth?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, I guess apparently not, but I mean, I guess deep down inside I did, but you know, the fear was throwing whatever it could to kind of keep me
All
in
right.
that state, it seems.
But as you say, deep down inside, again, the idea is going higher is the product of going deeper.
Right.
So the deeper you reach, the higher you will go.
Okay. And my last question, I know that I was part of the hybridization project, and I had an experience where I was in a room, and they were having me do what they needed me to do.
Yeah.
And I sort of snapped out of it and kind of didn't know what was happening in the moment. And I remember throwing there was like a doll body in front of me. I threw it, and I was yelling, and I was running. And then all of a sudden, I was in like a ship, and there was this being was very upset with me, and he apologized, and then he showed me something on a machine.
Yes.
It was kind of like a holographic thing, and he was kind of like, this person's gonna do this person's gonna do that. I don't recall any of it. I don't know what he said.
Yes.
I just remember that it happened. Could you possibly...
Well, just a way of letting you in on what was going on so that you would have more conscious awareness of the fact that you were there under your own choice. But many times, many of you don't remember that. But if you, quote unquote, snap out of it, sometimes then they will need to deal with the idea that you have become a little bit more aware and a little bit more conscious within the interaction. So they will give you more information that you can then participate in.
Right. Could you possibly maybe tell me what that being said to me?
Aside from calm down,
Yes.
there is nothing to be afraid of. Let me show you. Let me remind you some of the things we have discussed. Let me give you an understanding of where this is heading so that you can remember to some degree, to whatever degree is appropriate for you, whatever it is you need to know to allow this to continue. That's what was said.
Sounds about right. And actually, one more. I saw a blue ship in the northwest. I don't remember what state I was in. I just remember my frequency was very high, and the ship got very close to me.
Yes.
Was that Sasani, or was that
Not Sasani.
Was it Sirius?
There are some serious connections to it, but it is something else.
Can I know what it is?
Yes, you can.
So what is it?
I didn't say you would know it from me.
I see.
Give it some time. You will remember.
Okay.
There are other things to remember. If you remember what you just explained to us, what you just described to us, you can, from that state, remember more.
Very good.
You understand?
I do.
Does that help you?
It does.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Shivai Bashar.
Andrew, you good day.
Thank you so much for coming to New York.
Again, I'm not in New York, but thank you.
I'd like you to explain to me about the state of coma, because my son is in a coma for almost 6 years.
All right.
and I communicate with him a lot. I
Yes.
feel what he's feeling, and I
Yes.
do a lot of holistic.
To see.
Oh, all right. We came all the way from Essathani.
Yes.
You should see our frequent flyer mileage.
How do you know that what I'm thinking about? I am trying very hard.
Don't try so hard.
Yes.
Relax, relax.
Thank you.
We're here to have fun, yes?
Yes.
All right.
So I have 3 topics to discuss with you.
All right.
The first one is my participation with the hybrid children agenda.
Yes.
And the second one is my connection with the Orion and the Egyptian.
Yes.
And the third is the current physical reality experiences.
Yes. All right. We'll begin however you wish.
Thank you. So, a corny question, how many children do
Corny?
I have? Yes.
Your question is full of corn.
That many?
Is that what makes this a pop quiz?
So how many of
Some
them
of you got
popped?
it. This is a relatively open-ended question because it determines the idea based on how much of your genetic material might be in any given hybrid child. It's spread pretty thin over the entire hybridization program. There are some that have more, there are some that have less. So at what point and at what percentage do you determine that they are, quote unquote, your child?
As you mentioned, 35%. How many of them?
35% is what you're going for? About 10.
Wow. Not bad. So, do I have any implants?
Not in the way that you mean it. That technology has shifted, has changed.
Mm-hmm.
You can be kept track of, but it's not through the idea of a solid implant anymore. It's through a slight adjustment of your DNA that gives off a frequency that can be tracked.
Yes. So I'm so grateful that we have this Sedona event last year. So I've been given a different ability to perceive the ships.
All right.
So one day I look up the sky in front of, New York sky, and all of a sudden I saw all the stars started moving back and forth.
Yes.
And it turns out that they're all ships.
No, they're not.
No?
No.
So how come they move back and forth like so drastically?
Because you are penetrating into other dimensions that are out of alignment with yours.
Wow.
Do you understand? Some of them may have been ships, but most of what you experience is the idea of an overlap from one reality to another, and maybe more than two. And when you start doing that, you realize that some parallel versions of your reality are not exactly in the same place that the things in your reality are in. Therefore, you might see them shift back and forth, like you do when you use one eye and then the other eye and then one eye and then the other eye, and things shift back and forth. It's because of the parallax and the perspective of shifting back and forth between one dimension and another dimension.
So in other words, I'm actually seeing through the dimension
Yes.
instead. Wow.
Again, it might contain some ships here and there,
I see.
because there are many ships coming and going, and that's fine. But we're describing most of what you experienced.
I see. And so
Yes.
there's an orange ship, I assume. I guess it's Arcturus.
It can be connected to the Arcturus gate. Doesn't always have to be, but it can be.
So how come it's in color orange?
It represents a certain frequency of energy. And it's connected to certain things, certain links, certain energy frequencies that represent an alignment, so that you can emotionally remember who you are.
Mm-hmm. So the third question is my connection with the gray. I feel like I'm so connected to them, and they show me their version of Earth, and that just break me into tear, and
Yes.
it's just getting very, very emotional.
All right. So you have that connection. You've made that connection to that experience in the parallel reality that the Greys come from, having mutated themselves from human form into the present form you know as the Grey. And you have made a connection in a way that allows you to experience the emotion they experienced in letting go of their emotions in order to accomplish the hybridization agenda.
And I feel like they have lost the ability to express their own emotions. So
yes, but
they
that's
did
what
that
the
for me.
hybrids are for.
I see.
Because the grays will die out. There is no longer a need for them to express themselves that way because it's the hybrids that carry on their culture.
I see.
That's why the hybridization program is happening, as well as allowing your version of Earth to also evolve into the 6th hybrid race so that you don't have to walk down the same path that they did. So it's for them and it's for you.
Wow.
Oh, well said.
So I also have connection to Epiphany, and he showed himself in my dream.
Epiphany.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Epiphany is not a he.
Oh, so
It's an artificial intelligence.
That's right.
That's connected to our world. It doesn't have a gender.
When he was in quote unquote human form in the dream.
No. You're just saying that's the way it symbolized itself.
I see.
That's not what it is. It will come in whatever way it needs to come as a symbol so that you can make sense out of the interaction. But eclipse, epsilon, and epiphany are 3 giant 75-mile in diameter spheres that orbit our planet that are artificially intelligent and help stabilize our world.
That's correct.
I know. That's why I said it.
The second topic is my Orion energy.
Yes, you have Orion connections.
And it's quite heavy. And so.
All right, but it's all about transforming the heaviness into lightness, the darkness into light. Yes, the negative into positive. That's why you're making the connection, to draw upon that so that you have a very strong transformational experience.
Yes.
Yes?
So I did the exercise from the Contact 101 transmission.
All right.
And I figured out that my signature vibration looks like a chicken leg, like chicken finger. So a few days
Your signature vibration looks like a chicken leg. Is that what you said?
It's very
We're
odd.
making sure that that translated on our side correctly.
Yes, it's very odd. And it's chicken finger like that. It's very odd. So a few days later,
Do chickens have fingers?
Some body parts.
Yes, all right.
So a few days down the road, I have a very weird dream. As you mentioned before, I have connection to Anubis as well.
Yes.
So Anubis came in my dream, but he's very ferocious.
Can be.
And
Not that he actually is, but it can be experienced that way.
So I was very surprised because for that transmission, supposedly I should discover myself and then maybe apply for a job on the ship.
Apply for a job on a ship?
Yes, and then I don't know why I got recruited by Anubis, and I was like, that's weird.
Because it's revealing a connection that you have made that will discover within yourself a new aspect of yourself, a new perspective of yourself if you follow that thread. It has to do with deep, deep inner definitions and belief systems. That's also why it's connected to the ancient Orion systems. It's about really rooting out, digging out what's in the underworld of your definitional psychology, of your personality structure that's holding on to anything that is out of alignment with your true self. So they're giving you an opportunity to use those energies, to use those perspectives, to use those archetypal points of view to get in touch, to know you're powerful enough to get in touch with any belief systems that are out of alignment and powerful enough to let them go and transform that energy in a positive way.
Yes.
Okay? So use it that way.
And another question about Anubis is, I remember there's one questioner mentioned that your father has connection with Anubis as well.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a little bit?
The only clue I can give you is to say, look at the first 2 syllables.
Ooh.
First 2.
Anunnakis?
Anu.
Oh my goodness, I knew it.
Well, then why did you ask?
I just need a confirmation.
Do you? Yes. All right.
So,
well, don't be so confident about your lack of confidence.
I see. Wow. So how about the night gods during the Egyptian time? Do they have anything to do with the nine, the Council of Nine from the Saturn?
In a peripheral way, yes. But we're not going to go into that. That's another story. We will deal with the idea of archetypal presentations of the collective consciousness and the faces that they present to you in another transmission coming up.
Wow. So I remember you also mentioned that the first group of the TV series Star Trek, they have an ability to tap in your collective consciousness. So I assume that it's Mr. Gene Roddenberry, and he's doing the channeling business as well?
Well, in a sense, although he's not the only one. There were actually two Genes.
Oh.
Gene Roddenberry, Gene Kuhn.
I see. Wow.
So, double spiral gene.
That's very powerful.
Yes, it is. And therefore, they were able to tap into certain ideas that do exist out here and present them to you in symbolic form in the story. So it would stick. So you would start to realize that these things exist. And in presenting such things to you, create more probability for the idea of contact. Because in presenting those kinds of stories, you're already imagining what it might be like to make contact with extraterrestrial beings. You're already playing out scenarios in your imagination, and it gives you practice. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes.
Now, they didn't necessarily know that they were doing that consciously, but that's one of the effects, is to present the idea of first contact in a number of different ways.
Wow.
So.
Another question about Anubis is there any specific temple that represents its energy? So I'm planning a trip.
Oh, well, maybe, I don't know, the Temple of Anubis?
Is there one?
Yes, there is.
Oh.
Why don't you look it up?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Will that do for now?
Oh, okay. Just very quick, in terms of my physical reality experiences.
Yes.
Right now, I just feel kind of dizzy, and
yes,
I know that's probably the side effect of the acceleration.
In some senses, yes, because it can be disorienting in order to allow you to reorient to a new reality. You have to unlock from one perspective to lock into another one. So yes, it can feel like you're in a little bit of a free fall, a little bit dizzy for a while. You're just changing gears, that's all.
I see. Any specific permission slip available?
The permission slip would be the formula.
Oh.
Follow your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to look like, and therefore you will most efficiently flow the energy through you, and that's the best way to acclimate to the new levels of energy.
Yes.
Practice, practice, practice.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Shivai.
Shivai. Aveo.
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 Ave. V. Aveo.
Aveo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aveo means thank you in our ancient language.
Hello.
And a you good day.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
The first is, what information do you have to share with us about DMT?
It is what is produced by your pineal gland that allows you more efficacy in piercing through the dimensional veils. This is why the production of dimethyltryptamine in your pineal gland happens more during your sleep phase between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and brings about your capacity to experience the concept of the dream world more strongly, more clearly. But when you allow yourself to express more of the DMT in your waking state, it can still allow you to get into states where you can, as I said, more easily pierce the veil between dimensional realities. It's an unlocking mechanism. It's a key mechanism, a key molecule, literally a key. Anything else?
Yes. Recently, I've been interested in blood types.
Yes.
My blood type, my daughter's blood type.
Yes.
What do you have to say about knowing your blood type as far as where you come from and having children?
Where you come from?
Yes.
In what context do you mean that? You come from Earth.
Like bloodlines.
Yes. Sometimes it can be helpful to trace those things. But remember, you all are already hybridized. You all have Anunnaki DNA in all of you. And the Anunnaki themselves were mixed, were hybridized. This is one of the reasons why you actually have so many different races on your planet. You all started out similarly, but as soon as you moved into different environments, the different extraterrestrial genetics mixing with the Homo erectus genetics within you activated in different environments to be something similar to the planets that that DNA came from. Make sense?
Yes.
So it can be of value to understand some of the genetics and the blood and the tracing of that bloodline back to the Anunnaki, although it may not necessarily be something that you can go beyond since you don't really know your own histories as clearly as you could. This is one, as we have mentioned before, of the gifts you will be given when open contact occurs. Your entire history, your entire bloodline, stretching back before Earth into the galaxy. Yes?
That's what I was getting at.
Well, that's what I just gave you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Will that do?
Yes.
Thank you.
I live in Arizona, and my question is in reference to I have a disability. I'm legally blind, and I'm wondering if that is a reason for me not ascending, or if it's blocking me from being able to see any ETs or craft. I'm working on my fear, but I am afraid that that could be blocking me. Can that be the case?
Nonsense. In fact, it may actually give you an advantage because it removes insistence and expectation about what it is you could be receiving. Remember that most extraterrestrial beings who might form contact with you are telepathic and can project images into your mind regardless of what's going on with your eyes. So it is not in any way, shape, or form a disadvantage or a disability with regard to what you are talking about. In fact, it may be an advantage.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
We have lots of wonderful questions from our viewers.
All right.
The first one is, you said that the open contact window is 2025 to 2033, and the public contact is 2037. Have these times changed?
Yes, as we have said, it broadened to starting this year, 2023. Still going to about 2033, with other levels, other markers occurring between 2033 and 2040. However, we have also recently said that there is a 90% potential for a major contact event to occur at the end of 2026 or the beginning of 2027, though we are not allowed to discuss exactly what conditions will bring this about.
Okay, thank you. You previously spoke about hybrids living in vacant housing situations for a short time. Do these hybrids interact with human beings during their visits or observe us? I would like to create a safe and welcoming place for them to interact with me at their discretion.
Yes, they still do use vacated places temporarily. On rare occasions, they may chance an interaction with a local human. You may do whatever you wish. We cannot guarantee they will use the space that you provide.
My 10-year-old daughter is wondering if hybrid children are excited to come be with the animals of Earth. If so, which animals are they most excited by?
They are excited to interact with the animals of the earth as well as other forms of life, humans, trees, so on and so forth. They are most attracted in general, although they are excited about all forms of life, most attracted to cats, rabbits, and foxes.
You've mentioned that the hybrid children are learning about us and how to acclimatize to our society. Can you share something about them with us that would help us understand and acclimate to them better?
They are not so proficient with the idea of social norms or pleasantries in terms of the idea of etiquettes. So the idea, even for some of them, of learning to sit and eat on a plate with a fork and a spoon are alien concepts to them that many of them are learning. The idea of exchanging what you call small talk is still relatively foreign to them. They see the idea of small talk as something that procrastinates getting in the way of direct communication, which of course they're mostly used to doing telepathically. So they may seem quite withdrawn, quite silent for a while, until they get used to the understanding of why small talk matters to humans as a way of establishing familiarity and sort of testing the waters as to what another person is all about and in what direction the conversation might be interested in going. So they will have to get used to those kinds of social norms on your planet, even though at the same time, humans can also get used to the idea of using their own telepathy more often.
Can you describe what happened when your society transformed into a fully telepathic society? What is it like when one suddenly shifts from not so telepathic to completely telepathic?
It is like awakening into a dream where there are multiple realities speaking to you at the same time, and it involved a process of stabilization that allowed us to differentiate what was and what was not relevant for us at any given moment in terms of information pouring in from many different sources. So we had what you might refer to as a filtering time after the awakening, after 3 days of Shakana, awoken us to the idea of telepathic connectiveness, and we had to go through what might be, for some individuals, a few days, weeks, or months of filtering until such time as we allowed what was relevant to come to us and filtered out what was not. So it took some adjustment, but it didn't take too long.
And can you tell us, why do humans need regular soap and water baths to maintain hygiene and health, while so many animals on the planet don't need such practices? And how did the Greys clean themselves?
All animals will usually take advantage of water sources to clean themselves, and you have animals such as cats that clean themselves regularly. Different animals have different ways of doing so, and different needs of doing so, different levels of need. Just look more closely, more deeply at the animal world, and you will see that many of them have different ways of preening, cleaning, bathing, so on and so forth. The greys, once they mutated from human to gray, had very simple systems that relied mostly on the ingestion of liquids that were purged through the pores of the skin in terms of perspiration, and simply wiped themselves down with what would essentially be damp cloths. Sometimes, later on, they would perhaps pass through a cleansing mist.
Is one of the signs that we are biologically connected with ETs the idea that we don't seem so well adapted to our planet in terms of clothing, needing to bathe ourselves, and those ideas?
No, not really. Remember that the Earth game has its rules and regulations about what is necessary for playing that game, having that experience. You all have extraterrestrial connections, and from time to time, those connections can rise to the surface and make it appear as if you are a stranger in a strange land, not exactly relating to the idea of the Earth reality. But the things you are describing do not so much have to do with your connections to extraterrestrials. They have more to do with the idea of what it means to play the Earth game.
And in previous transmission, you mentioned the idea of trinary beats when referring to Essassani music. Could you tell us more about these trinary beats?
To you, they would seem very simplistic. Ba-ba-ba, 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 which underscores most of our music. But to us, we are hearing all sorts of harmonics and reverberations of frequencies within those 3 beats. So to us, it sounds a little bit more like ba 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 ba, and a more complex structure can be founded on what to you might seem to be 3 simple beats.
Are you familiar with the Star Visitor Sanctuary in Hawaii, and can you speak on its significance and usages?
Not at this time.
And how are you able to talk to multiple Earths at one time?
Time for us is not what it is for you. The idea of what may be taking place from your perspective at a certain time is taking place from another perspective at a completely different time. Our consciousness can be fragmented in many different directions simultaneously because we are, as we say, mostly connected now to spirit, and spirit can see things from multiple points of view, multiple dimensional perspectives. So it's just a matter of what we have gotten used to in terms of creating an interaction, creating a connection that simply, when necessary, goes to whatever dimensional time frame is appropriate and relevant for the communication that needs to occur.
Okay, thank you. Some reports of the white tic-tac shaped craft describe a couple of small protrusions sticking out. Do those craft, in fact, have any protrusions?
Not permanently. Protrusions, sensors, can stick out when they need them to and be retracted also when required.
Can you tell us about the purpose of them?
Not at this time.
Okay. I know you say that all prayers are answered. If I pray to ETs for help with a personal challenge, can they help me if they see fit?
Do not pray to extraterrestrials. Prayer is a state of grace, a state of gratitude in the present for what you already are receiving. It's not a matter of asking for more than you're already being given. You are being given everything you can be given, all the help you can be given from extraterrestrials, from whom it is appropriate to give, from spirit beings and guides, from all that is, from sources of your own spirit family, soul family. You are being given everything you can be given. The idea of praying is about staying in a state of present grace and gratitude for what you are receiving so that you can become more aware of the help you're already receiving. You do not need to ask for more cannot be given than what is already given. You are being given everything that can be given. Open yourself up in your state of prayer to receive and be aware of what you're already getting.
Okay. Is it possible that contact could be in dreams? This person keeps having dreams of various UFO sightings and even had one last night.
Most contact events will occur in dream time. Again, it is a slightly altered version of physical reality, a slightly altered dimension in which it is easier for extraterrestrial and spirit beings to interact with human beings when their normal daily waking consciousness is set aside a bit. So these things are actually happening and are actually representative of memories to the best that your physical mind can interpret them with the dream language. But most contacts at this point occur in the dream state, in the dream time, yes.
And this person is saying that they once experienced a communication from their deceased dog through a ceiling fan. Both the dog and the fan are white, and they wanted to know how a being can communicate through an inanimate object. I understand they're saying that they understand how we do that in physical reality through gift giving, for example, but how do spirits do this? Can you give us any insight on that?
Spirits will use whatever object, because remember, objects are just projections of consciousness. The idea of the spirit of the animal may have recognized that the observation by the human of the ceiling fan allowed the human to be in a perfect state of receptivity for the animal to communicate the vibration of love and connection that the animal was attempting to do. So, like any spirit using synchronicity in the things, the objects, the projections of consciousness that are already in front of your face, making it easier for them to make a connection because of your attentiveness to them, because of your ability to perceive these objects and accept them in your reality, then yes, an animal or any being in spirit can utilize an object as a way of communication.
You said that guides usually send subtle messages in order to remain unobtrusive. Are they considered a novice or unskilled guide if their message is very obvious?
Not necessarily, no. It depends upon the circumstances and the reason for why the message is being delivered the way it is being delivered. It has nothing to do with whether the spirit is a novice at it or not.
And are we able to affect other people's vibration? For example, if a loved one is struggling with negative self-worth, can we manifest for them?
No. You can send off a vibration that can encourage them and invite them to more readily match the frequency that you're giving off, at which point they will create for themselves the same vibration in their reality. That is what you can do for them, is give them the option by immersing them in the vibration you believe would be of help to them. It's still always up to them to more closely match that frequency in order to experience any kind of an effect. You cannot manifest for them. You can only encourage them to manifest for themselves by matching the frequency that you are gifting to them.
And you have said that physical reality is like a mirror. what's the difference between looking into a mirror in our homes, like, our bathroom mirror, and seeing our face in it, than looking into the mirror of physical reality, like looking into our yard?
Again, the idea is that the reflection from physical reality is not a one-to-one reflection. The idea is that it gives you insight into the different meanings that the symbol being reflected to you in physical reality may hold for you. It may give you opportunities to interact with other beings through the manifestations you are creating to represent them, the so-called avatars you are creating to represent them, as being a reflection of why they look the way they do to you, because it is your creation, even though they exist on their own. So the idea of the physical mirror is that you get to engage with yourself more directly on a one-to-one basis. But the idea of physical reality is that you get to be reflected by all the symbols and all the meanings that you are putting out into reality and are being reflected back to you in the way that serves you as reflections that put you in touch with why you are giving off what you are giving off and attracting what you are attracting as a reflection